Hello students, welcome back to our science class. My name is Anjali and I hope you all are fine and safe at your places. So students, today we are going to study a new chapter which is chapter 13. So let's begin with our today's class. I'm going to show you some game, okay, which you all are very much loving that game. So let's see it in the form of this image on the slide. Yes students, what can you see? Yes, some people are enjoying playing some game type of game. And what you usually do in this game? Yes, you one person is blindfolded and he has to catch the other persons, right? Very good students. So now, if you have to describe something more about this game, what happens, what do you do, then what can you say, students? Yes, you might be saying that, ma'am, a person is blindfolded and we rotate that person and then we spread all around that person and we give hints to that person so that he can catch us that we are here like this, okay, by making what? Yes, you say something to that person, right? I'm this side, I'm here, yay, catch me, right? Yes, very good students. So what you actually do to give the hints to that person that you are standing over here? Yes, you say something, right? So students, you are saying is something. Can I say that here you are making some kind of sound? Yes, you make different sounds also, right? To give that hint, hey, come on, I'm here. Yes, very good student. And the person is then able to identify your sound and then catch you. Okay, very good. So students, today we are going to discuss about the sound. So basically producing sound. Okay. So if I ask you that if you have to define or tell something about the sound in your own words, what do you understand by it? Yes, you can write your answers in the comment section. I'll read it out. Yes. So you must be saying, ma'am, sound is something that we produce with our mouth and we use to communicate. We all time, like I'm also speaking right now, I'm producing sound, right? Very good students. So we all know that how much important role sound plays in our lives. And if you want to add up to this point the important role of sound in our lives, then what can you say? Yes, you will say that we are communicating, we are speaking. It is possible because of the sound only, right? It helps us to communicate with each other. And what about students? The type of musical instruments which you are seeing over here, are these also producing sound? Yes, the different sounds they produce, like the tabla, the harmonium, sitar, or the flute, right? These are the musical instruments which produces the sound. And students, what about this? Like we hear sound through our ears every time, right? We are speaking through our mouth, right? Hearing is done through ears, and we are speaking or producing the sound through mouth, right? In this way, we can say the sound is being produced and heard by the humans, right? The other humans. Very good students. So, like this, and also if you have to explain some more importance of sound, then what will you elaborate upon? Yes, very good. You must be saying that we often uh, hear sound in our mobile phones also. If students there was no sound, like, so then there is no use of this phone for the calling purpose or for the listening of the music, right? So there also we can say that how much important role sound is playing. Very good. So now let's move ahead. Okay, first of all, what have the musical instruments which we have discussed? Which we have discussed are the harmonium, which is, and also the tabla, the flute, or you can say the piano is also there. Piano, right? So how the role of sound is being possible due to the in this all the sampling of this musical instrument. So students, if I ask you that list, you have to list the sounds which you hear in your surroundings. Okay, then you have to list out something. Now also you might be hearing some or the other sound in your surrounding. So you can write that in the comment section that which type of sound are you able to hear. Okay, just write down in the comment section. Yes, students. So have you noticed or any sound in your surroundings? Yes, very good. So you might be saying that the like in my surrounding I can hear the birds are chirping. One example is that birds are chirping, and I'm also hearing the sound of my cooler. My cooler is on, so it's producing some kind of sound. Sound of cooler. Yes, and students, what about your examples? You might be hearing the sound of vehicles around you. It might be possible, right? Sound produced by vehicles. Very good. And what else? What type of sound you can see here? Yes, it might be some persons are also speaking around you, right? Or that sometimes students, what happens that we have some time, some like the vessels also, like when our utensils, like the utensils when we keep from one place to another, the utensils also make sound, isn't it? Yes, very good. Utensils also produce sound. So what examples we have discussed? The chirping of the birds, the sound of cooler, and the vehicles, and about the utensils. So you can also think of many more examples where you type of sounds which you hear in your surroundings. Like I have also listed out the few. Very good students. So now Dash helps us to communicate with one another. It's your time to answer. So I'm waiting for your responses. You can write your answers in the comment section, and then we'll see what is the correct answer for it. What is that thing which is helping us to communicate, or you can say talk with one another? Yes, basically, very good. We are discussing about the sound. So sound is that which is helps us to communicate with one another. So what will come in this blank? Very good students. It will come sound. Sound is that thing which is help to communicate with each other when we produce different sounds, when we speak, or when the birds, they also communicate with the help of the sound also in their own languages. Okay. Yes, very good students. So now let's move ahead. Yes, very good. So students, now it's a small activity time, which we activity time for us. We are going to perform a small activity, okay? And you all have to perform this by with me, okay? Observe me or listen to my instructions and just do as I say. And we will come to something interesting with this activity. So what you have to do, I hope you all are very active, okay? So what you have to do, we have a neck, okay? We produce sound, we speak. What you have to do, you have to put your like the two fingers on your neck like this, okay? And try to produce some kind of sound, like the buzzing sound, or like sound like this, okay? So what you have to do, put your fingers over here, produce a buzzing sound, or like the sound like this. Hmm, like this. Have you? Are you doing? Yes, I hope you have, might be doing. You can put it over here like this, okay, and produce like this. Hmm. Yes, you might be laughing that what activity we are doing, right? This is a very interesting activity when we have to understand something about sound. Now you have to tell me your observation, students. What have you observed by performing this activity? Like I've also felt something, but first of all, I would like to ask you, what have you got? Yes, you might be saying, ma'am, that we are producing something, so it's like kind of vibration you might be feeling when you're putting your hands on the neck, right? Some kind of vibrations. Yes, very good, student. So that was my point to making to clearance that sound is always produced by a vibrating body. Vibrating body in our case was it what was our like this throat, like where we put, so we can see we feel the vibrations like when we put it like this, and we sometimes we speak also, like now also I'm speaking, when I'm putting my hand I can feel the vibrations. You can also do it. It will be very great for you to understand that how it is produced by the vibrating body. Okay, very good, students. You all have performed this activity. You might have understood the point that how it is produced by a vibrating body. So if I ask you to explain it in your own words, what is happening in the activity or how sound is produced by a vibrating body? Yes, very good. So if you are saying that sound is basically produced by any vibrating body, as it in our case it was a, yes, some kind of reflection is coming, I guess. Yes, it is produced by a, like our in case it was a neck, right? So students, to and fro or back and forth motion of an object is called vibration, as you have studied in your 7th class about the vibration motion, right? What is actually vibration motion? Yes, the to and fro motion or the back and fro motion, you can say, think of the example of the pendulum which we have discussed, right? What is this? This is the to and fro movement or the back and forth movement. So this type of motion was calling out, we are calling it as the vibrational motion, right? So yes, this is the vibration which is producing. So when a tightly stretched band is plugged, it also vibrates and produces sound. You might have done with the rubber band, you stretch it and you just do it something in the center. So what happens? It vibrates and produces sound. That is also produced by a vibration. So when it stops vibrating, it will not produce any kind of sound. If a rubber band is kept like this only, so it will not produce sound, right? But when we stretch it, when we just pluck it, it vibrates and like this kind of sound it produces. So we see that a vibrating object produces sound. In some cases, the vibrations are easily visible to us. We can easily see them. But in the most cases, their amplitude is so small we cannot see them. Amplitude is something which is very fast moving. Like we'll discuss in our next class. But you can see that if amplitude is kind of small, we will not be able to see the vibrations. But yes, we can feel them. So here point you can write down the that the vibration we are discussing related to it. Yes, students, very good. So now if I ask you to list few more examples from your day-to-day life where you see that the sound is produced by a vibrating body. Yes, yes, students. You can give examples. Yes, in case of a rubber band, which we have already discussed, good example. So let me give you a hint. You can think of the instrument where you think that vibrating body is producing the sound in that instrument. Yes, very good. You might have heard about a like a sarangi, like in the Rajasthan, it is very famous. So let me show you actually the how. Yes, it look like this. It's look like this. Students in the Rajasthan, it is very famous when the person they are making a very beautiful music out of this. So here also vibration in the string is going on, right? To and from movement. So like the ghatam is also there and the manjira. When the manjira in the temples you might have seen, right? So how large the vibrations it's producing, and the people uses this to produce the sound in the form of a music or like a kind of bhajan also. And the ghatam is also there. Yes, very good, students, good examples. So now let's see. Okay, it's your time to answer now. Choose the correct option, that when a tightly stretched band is plugged, it does not vibrate but produces sound. When a tightly stretched band is plugged, it vibrates but does not produce sound. It when a tightly stretched band is plugged, it vibrates and produces sound. So students, what do you think the answer is? You have to choose the option A, B, C among A, B, C, which is the correct one. Very good students. I hope you are giving the answers and correct answers also. Yes, it is the C part. When we have seen that how the if a band is stretched, you can say we have a rubber band, okay, like this. When a tightly stretched band is plugged like this, it will vibrate also and it will produce sound also like this. Here you can see. Can you see the vibrations? And hear the sound also. Yes, very good. So that is why we have seen that the C answer is correct. Okay, students. So now let's move ahead. Basically, what is this image related with? Yes, it is related with what activity we were doing, right? We were putting our fingers on the throat and then we were producing something. So, students, what do you think that now what are we going to discuss? That how this is happening? Like it is produced by vibration. We all have got this point. Now, how the sound is produced by the humans, then something might be there responsible for it, right? Yes, very good students. So, very good. So now today we are going to discuss about the sound produced by humans, which is a very new concept for you, that how the sound is produced by the humans. We take the help of this thing, that humans a sound is always produced by the voice box or the larynx. So you can think of that we have a system in which there is some part which is responsible for the producing of the sound, right? So in our for the sound produced by humans, we have the sound produced by this voice box or the larynx. What it is, students? The voice box. With the term voice only, you might be getting the idea that it is related to the producing of the sound in the humans. So you can note down this larynx or the voice box, which is responsible for the production of sound in case of humans. The activity which we have done, put your fingers on the throat and find a hard bump that seems to move you swallow. Okay, you try to swallow like this. Put your fingers on the throat and find a hard bump. Yes, I am able to find it. Are you also? Very good, students. So what is happening? This part of the body is known as the voice box, and it is at the upper end of the windpipe. Which windpipe you all already have uh, studied about, that what is the windpipe, right? So this part is known as the voice box, and the two vocal cords are stretched across the voice box or larynx in such a way that it leaves a narrow slit between them for the passage of air. What is happening? Two vocal cords are there. You can think of that the voice box we are having two vocal cords, right? And they are leaving a narrow slit for the passage of the air so that the sound can be produced. Okay, so now students, let us see with the help of the diagram also. I hope larynx is clear to you. What is larynx, right? What is larynx? Which is the sound produced by the humans. It is the system inside this neck. Here you can see that we have this hard bump like thing, right? As you swallow you will find it, and there are two vocal cords which are attached to it, and leaving a narrow slit means it's a very narrow slit it will leave so that air can easily pass, then only we will be able to produce the sound, right? Yes, very good, students. So you can note down these few points about the highlighted points, that voice box or larynx, it is at the upper end of the windpipe, the two vocal cords are stretched. Okay, just you can take your time, note it down. Let me move my video over here. Yes. And if you have any kind of doubt, you can always ask, put your questions in the comment section. I'll definitely read out and reply to you. Okay. And if you have something new which you can also find out related with the topic, we can also discuss that also. Yes. I hope you are done with it. Yes, very good students. So now let's begin with the, let's see how much you have understood. Okay. It's your time to answer as true or false. That two vocal cords are stretched along the voice box or the larynx. The statement is true or false. Write your answers in the comment section. Yes, very good student. So if you are saying that this statement is definitely true, so you are absolutely correct. And students, what is this voice box or larynx? The two words, because these are the new words to you, so you have to very much be careful about understanding of these two words. Yes, the sound in the humans, it is produced by the voice box or the larynx. What we call it as larynx. And the spelling of larynx is Larynx. Okay? Yes, larynx. Very good students. So basically, what have we discussed in our today's class? Let's quickly recall. Yes, today we have discussed something related with the producing sound, which is a new concept for us. Though we are familiar with the sound in our day-to-day lives, but we are going to understand it now technically. What are the things? Okay, by observing our surroundings only. And what else we discussed? Yes, we discussed with the help of an activity that how sound is produced by a vibrating body, like we did like this. You know? Yes, very good students. So, okay, now, so students, today we have learned about the production of sound, like how sound is produced, and now let's summarize our today's class. Okay, we hear a limited type of sounds in our surroundings. Is this statement a true or a false statement? I'll highlight it once you give me the answer. Yes, you can write it in the comment section because I'll read it out from there. Very good students. So if you are giving answer as false, you are absolutely correct. And why this will be a false, students? If I ask you, yes, you might be saying that, ma'am, this is a false because we do not hear a limited of sounds. We have ample different types of sound present in our atmosphere, in our environment. We daily hear different kinds of sound produced by it. So they are not limited, rather much more than that. Okay, and student, what is voice box in humans? What is voice box? Yes, voice box is the part of the human in the sound which is responsible for the producing of the sound. Okay. Yes, and students, what is the voice box also known as? Yes, it is called as larynx. The new word which we have learned today, which is Larynx. It is larynx. Very good. Now the following activity proved that. So you can see the I told you about the vibration, right? So what this activity will prove? Yes, this will prove that sound is produced by a vibrating body. Like if we hang a vessel and we just do something with that, then we produce a vibration sound. So it is related with the that sound is produced by a vibrating body. And the musical instrument, we have discussed that how the role of sound is important in the different musical instruments also, and the plucking of the rubber band the activity which I have also done, you can do in this way also. Like attach two pencils. Okay, you bring the rubber band in the next class. We'll do this activity. Okay, and we'll see how sound is produced by the vibrating of the. In the lively class, we'll see to it. Okay, very good students. So now it's time for you to do our homework. First, you have to describe about the how the sound is produced by a uh, vibrating objects with the suitable examples, and then how is sound produced by humans. You have to explain few points related to it. Activity students, I'm giving you two interesting activities which you will do. You have to take a metal dish, pour some amount of water in it, and at the edge of it you have to strike it with a spoon. Now do you hear a sound? And then you have to again strike the dish and then touch it also. Now can you see or feel the dish vibrating or not? You have to observe this also. Then strike the dish again, look at the surface of water. What do you see? Do you see any kind of waves or what happened? Now hold the dish. Okay, after holding the dish, what do you observe for the surface of water? So students, you have to explain this with a relation connection to the sound with the vibrations of our body, which we have discussed. Also students, you have to take 6 to 8. The second activity which you will be doing, this is a very interesting activity. Okay, you can do a kind of project also on this activity. So you have to take 6 to 8 bowls or tumblers. What you have to do, simply fill them with water up to different levels. You can take a some small amount in first, then some more in the second, and then keep on going. Okay, increasing gradually from one end to the other. Now take a pencil and strike the bowls gently. What you will do, you will strike all of them in the succession. So you will hear pleasant sounds. This is the instrument which is known as the jal tarang. Okay, sorry students. So this is known as the jal tarang. Now you have to observe that what difference do you find in the sounds of it. The different tumblers having the different water inside it, right? Then pen down your observations and explain it with the relation with the vibration of the body and the sound produced by it. Okay, so thank you students. That's all for our today's class. We'll meet in the next class now. Thank you so much.